Hey, IceCat fans. Thanks for joining us for another Roar Report interview on YouTube. Tonight, I am joined by a very special guest, none other than our very own Nick Gullo. Nick, thank you so much for taking time and doing another interview with us tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me and excited to get back and see the exciting things that the new season's going to bring and just excited to get back and into Florence and see all the Ice Cats Nation.
Awesome. We were excited to have you back here very, very soon. So it's been almost, I think I was doing the math the other day. We are almost at the midway point since last season ended, and we're almost coming up on the next season. So, what have you been doing in the off season? What does that look like for you?
Well, you guys can see from the background of my monitor here, Higher Hockey. Me and my friends started a company. Now we're running on year three, which is crazy. And, we're a mental performance and skills company. And honestly, that's what keeps most of my time. I'm also a certified strength coach, so I'm teaching in the gym. But yeah, no, hire is great. I know I talked to some people about it a little bit last year, but we do a lot of skill work on the ice from, other players and professional players in the SP, the Coast, the NHL, to our Division 1 athletes, juniors, midget high school players, all the way down to 2017 birth years, which is roughly
Wow.
8, 9 years old, right? And then during the season, we do data analysis and video analysis with them, and part of our mentorship program, where we have a mental performance for mental health and kind of working through those athletes. It's written by the Boston Red Sox head mental performance coach,
Oh,
Dr.
nice.
Steven Gonzalez. So it's something that obviously this is in friends' babies who also play pro hockey, and we're super passionate about it, but it keeps me quite busy from I'll do my own personal lift in the morning at like 7 a.m. and then get on the ice right after. And then for the next 10 hours, man, I'm ripping it on the ice or in the gym coaching the little guys or the next generation of players. So super rewarding. I wouldn't want it any other way, but yeah, it's kept me quite busy this summer.
No doubt. And I think that's something else that's really good for folks to know. So you're not doing this just during the summer. Like you mentioned, you have the data analysis and the video analysis that you're doing even during the season. So you're on the ice playing with the Ice Cats, but then you're also doing this, working with hire even afterwards.
Right. Yeah. So I
Wow.
would go,
Okay.
and obviously it gets a little dicey and trying to figure out the schedule and travel and stuff, but
Sure.
um, I make it work. It's nice because, Sydney, my girlfriend, she lives with me down in Florence and she works remote full time. So I'll come home from practice in the gym and she'll be ripping her computer, and then I'll find any sort of quiet space in the living room or wherever in the apartment to get my Zoom sessions out of the way with my
Yep.
kids. But it's a nice dynamic and um, keeps me busy because I don't know what else I would do with my free time. Maybe golf more, which would probably help my golf game. But
There you go.
no, it's something really cool. It's allowed me to continue to play, and I think it's cool for fans around to know and learn that we just don't come to the rink in the morning and go home and lay on the couch all day. Like we're doing a bunch of other things, behind the scenes and, living, I guess,
Definitely.
normal people lives as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, and you mentioned Sydney, which I know we really, really enjoyed having her with you here, with us here in Florence last season. And we're excited to know that you're obviously coming back. We're also happy to have Sydney back this
Yeah.
upcoming season. So a couple different things, we'll just chat a little bit about your time outside as well, outside the rink.
Mhm.
What were some of you and Sydney's favorite things to do in Florence last season?
So this thing, ever since, we started dating, 4 years ago, anywhere I've played hockey, or any town we really go to, we always try and, I guess, assimilate the most to, quote unquote, being a local. Um,
It's awesome.
So
Yeah,
we'd ask the locals like, "Hey, where are the good places to go eat?" Right? Like,
of course.
obviously
Yeah.
that's a big thing. I like to hike, so her and I would find any sort of hiking trails around.
Yeah.
She's really big into yoga, so she
Okay.
would find whatever local yoga studio. So she went to was it Soul Lift? Is that
Cool
I
lift.
think it's
Yeah.
Soul Lift in town
Yep.
was her yoga studio. It's over
That's right.
by McLeod,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they were awesome. They're actually fun fact. Uh, I don't know if it was the owner, but one of the teachers at Solif grew up 10 minutes from where her and I live in New York, which was kind of
Really?
crazy. to think about.
I did not
Um,
realize that. That's
but no,
awesome.
I would say probably every Tuesday night. Yeah, every Tuesday night we'd try to find like a new place to go to dinner. Um, and we ended up was it Town Hall and
Yep.
El Agave were kind of like our two staples to
Yep.
go to. And obviously our travel was a little crazy down the stretch there, but any home week we had, a Sunday would kind of be a day where her and I would get off the grid, shut our phones off, shut technology off, and we'd run to Charleston and
Good
just
choice.
hammer as many oysters as I possibly could in Charleston,
Love it. Yeah.
with Jugs and his wife Svea
Yep.
and
That's awesome.
Betsy and his girlfriend Brooke, and we'd have a fun time with it as well. But I would say for Sid and I, just kind of I guess getting to learn about the new city that we call home for 7 8 months, and like I said, trying to assimilate as best as we can, and
Yeah.
we're foodies, so yeah,
Love it.
we listen to
So
Florence Foodie all the time. So
I was gonna say, yeah, Sammy Fryer, he'll definitely be able to help you out there, making sure you can find some good places to eat. But speaking of which, that actually kind of dovetails to my next
right.
question. Where was one of, well, and I don't want to say your favorite place, but where were some of your favorite places besides, I know you mentioned Town Hall and El Agave. Were there any others that really stood out?
Town Hall, El Agave, Victor's was really nice. Anything kind of in that
Yeah.
downtown little area, Victor's was nice. There was a little I can't remember the name. It was a little wine bar right next to Victor's we'd like to go to on a casual night.
Oh,
That
yeah, yeah,
was a
yeah.
fun spot. I
Yep.
can't remember the name. And then
Similar to, yeah.
there was a spot. I can't remember the name either. It was over on Second Loop. It was kind of off the grid for us. Tubbs. We went to
Cubs.
Tubbs,
Yep.
which was really
Oh, yeah.
cool. And like just basic your standard bar food, right? But it was really cool. We
Yeah.
went there kind of during the playoff rush, and they had a drink. It was called the Ice Cat Martini or something that like that, and it
Oh,
was really cool.
really?
And
I didn't hear about that. Okay.
um, it was really cool. And after we had dinner there one night, we left, and the owner came out and said, "Hey, good luck the rest of the way, Mr. Gullo." And I thought that was pretty cool.
That's
Like,
awesome.
obviously, they didn't, they let us have dinner, but they knew who I was, which is incredibly humbling. And
Hmm.
it was just kind of cool to see all like the support from the whole town and the whole
Yeah.
city. And I would say that one was kind of cool for us. And I'm sure I'm missing one like that, just drawing a blank right now. Um, I know our post game late night cheat meal spot on a Saturday night was cookout. We'd hammer cookout after two and two
Do
or
love
three
some
and three.
cookout.
We'd go to cookout.
Yes,
So that was kind of our little cheat spot. Right. So we
absolutely.
don't have it up here in New York. So it was something
Yep.
different for us.
So I'll tell you, my go-to cookout meal
But
is two chicken quesadillas, honey mustard chicken wrap and fries, and a Mr. Pibb. It's never steered me wrong.
honey mustard chicken
Awesome.
wrap was always a staple. The honey
Yes.
mustard chicken wrap is so good. So good. I it would
Awesome.
Betsy and I would go, Charlie Bedard and I would go, and if it was late night and we were starving after a game, like let's say we just didn't want to eat the post game that was provided for whatever reason,
Right.
we'd go to cookout and order like probably collectively like 10 honey mustard chicken wraps, and it would still only be like $15. I'm like, this is fantastic. This is
You can't
awesome.
beat it. It's
Like
so
in New
true.
York, you're like looking at in New York, you're looking at like $100.
Yeah.
So, and Betsy and I are obviously both from New York, different parts of New York, but
Yep. I love it. Love it.
so that was always a fun one for us.
That's good. Favorite meet and greet spot from last year? Were there anyone in particular that stood out that you really enjoyed?
Oh man, we went to a bunch of them. Favorite meet and greet spot. Um, I think it was, I'm trying to remember what the name of it was, but we went to one of the breweries. What was it? There was Seminar, and
Seminar. Yep.
there was the other one that plays all the IceCats games outside. They have a
Oh, yeah.
huge patio.
It's right around the corner from us. Why am I blanking
Yeah.
on this?
And it's like a massive building. They have like a pool table and all these games
Yep.
inside. That one was my favorite. I just thought that place was so cool.
Yeah.
And it was a little different.
Southern
They had
hops.
where they
Southern hops. That's right.
yes. Yeah. That one was my favorite easily.
Yeah.
I thought that one was awesome.
They've got a
I
really
had
cool vibe there.
I mean every place that, you know, took us in was great.
Yeah.
But obviously you're gonna have your favorite. No, that one was great. I also like going to um margaritas across the street from the rink was awesome.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer, right? That's an easy one.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, and then I know we did other things around the town like that where it wouldn't always be like every player, it'd be certain players. But for me, um, I love doing the school visits. I thought the school visits were awesome because I just remember being a little kid and um, if some high profile athlete or some person from around here
Oh,
came
yeah.
to talk, it was the best day of the year, right? Like
Oh,
it's the
absolutely.
best day of the year. So
Yeah.
for me, right? If even seeing some of us can make that for those kids, like to me, that's like the huge thing. So
Yeah.
shout out to all the Florence schools. You'll see me next year. I'll be at
Right.
them.
That's
So,
awesome. And I think it's going to be really cool too. I
but
noticed in one of the recent, I know they've been releasing a lot of the theme nights and such, but we've got a school night or a school, I guess it's not a
mhm.
school night, but it's going to be a school game where you all be playing. I think it's an 11 a.m. start,
Yeah,
which that's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to that.
what's fun? It's really cool. It's funny because professional athletes are are creatures of habit, right?
Yeah.
And having 11, hey, I've done one of them before. Having an
Oh,
early morning game kind of throws you off, and it's funny because you got
I
to
didn't
like
think about that.
dial it in right away, and
Right.
it's like early in the morning, and it's like it's just a screaming mess of high pitched squeals from kids, but it's really cool. Like and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's an
No, no,
absolute
no.
electric factory with all the kids, right? It's
Oh
just
yeah.
you gotta figure out a way to kind of like, oh wait a minute, I'm playing a game right now. I'll tell you
Yeah.
what the weirdest thing though is you're accustomed to getting out of the rink. Well, for me, you can ask Sid this. I'm generally the last guy out of the rink.
Hmm.
At like midnight usually. So it's
Yeah.
wild with those games. You're done at like 3, 4 p.m. and you're like, now what?
Get the rest of the
And it's
day
still
to
like
do
that.
whatever. Yeah.
Now what do I do? Yeah, it's wild. It's like, man, I can go to Trace's and play golf after
Absolutely.
this right now. I can go rip a quick nine.
Absolutely.
So, but
That'll,
which is always like it's kind of like, whoa, what's going on?
yep. That's awesome. We'll be looking forward to
But
that.
no,
I'm
it'll be
excited.
cool. I saw a bunch of them. I didn't look through all of them like super in depth, but I saw we have a bunch of different things going on next year, and I think it's great. Like the fan interaction, obviously, without the fans, we don't have a job, right? Essentially.
Sure.
Um, and I just, every game, obviously you want to play every game and you get up for every game, but some of those theme nights, it's just a little bit different, right? There's a little
Yeah.
bit different feel in the atmosphere. I know the Star Wars game or the military night was electric, like electric.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like that's why you play for that stuff, right? Obviously you play
Yeah.
for a championship, but you play for those type of nights. And if you're not savoring those nights or making memories from those nights, it's a loss on you. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think the more the merrier. And then the more specialty jerseys maybe you'll do. I don't know if they are, but maybe you will.
Yeah.
And it's better for fan engagement. It's better for us. We get cool photos to put on Instagram.
No joke. Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out Stephen Lewis, my boy. So
Oh, love some
and
Stephen
all the other
Lewis.
photographers out there. So,
Yep.
but yeah, no, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But
Yeah, this I can very distinctly remember those two nights you mentioned it specifically. The military night, the 5-1 win against Athens. I mean, that was huge. And then the Star Wars night, punching the ticket to be able to go to the playoff.
incredible, right?
Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah. Both were
It's
awesome.
it's it's almost sometimes like right. It's hard to like rewrite a script like last year, which was so like fairy tale and storybook, and it just
Yeah,
makes you excited to come back. And obviously, you're never going to have the same story, but why not write a different one? Right?
yeah,
That's the beauty of it. You can write a different, better one.
yep.
So
That's
I
right.
think, it's yeah, that initial, I guess, shock of like, hey, this is a different season, different year, different team will take a
Mhm.
little bit of adjustment too. But, after you do this for a while, you kind of get used to it. And, like I said,
Sure.
it's your job and pros are creatures of habit and you just kind of fall into the flow and figure out a new way to battle and win games. Right. So,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So,
mhm.
that kind of does bring me to a another question here, which I was doing some more in prepping for this interview, getting my questions and such together. I didn't realize you've been playing pro hockey since 2018. So, like
Yeah.
you've been in the game for, I mean, not just like the game of hockey
Yeah.
itself, but the pro game for quite a while now.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, man. I'm old. I'm old.
that's right. Hey, I identify with that. I know a lot of people give me some flack on that, but hey, I feel older more and more. Um, so But what was, having been playing pro for so long,
Yep.
what was unique about last season's stint with the IceCats? Like what really stood out to you about that? Because you've been around the
I mean,
Fed
yeah, I did
and the SP, but yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yep. Yeah, I would say that that first year I would say I've really been playing since 2019, I guess. That first one was I finished college at King's College and I played one game after my senior year at college.
Okay,
But I was like, I'm going to go back and graduate school.
good on
So I
you.
would say
Yeah.
2019, the COVID shortened year was really my first year. But back to the question, what was so special about last year? Um, I you know you get callous to the change of roster. I hate to say it, you get numb to it. I know I was talking to a couple rookies on the team, and when guys would leave, they'd be a little like start like whoa, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, right. And I've been on that end of a guy of a guy who's come in, and I've quickly gone right. It's everyone's been part of it at some point in your career, some level. You've been the guy to get brought in and cut from a team or traded or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's just part of the job, and you have to find a way to keep a levelness in the locker room. I think me and the other captains and vet guys did an incredible job of that. I think
Yeah.
what was super special about last year, and it's hard to say because we only ended up with like a handful of guys from the start of the season, but we had like no clicks. And I know that sounds cliche. We had zero, like
That's good.
everybody hung out with everybody. Like even if they chose not to show up, it was a free invite all the time. And um, there was and I'm sure you guys know like we like to have our fun. Um,
Yeah.
but it was so business and we have a saying called be a pro,
Yeah.
and everyone was such a pro on that team, whether
Mm.
um somebody's ideology was a little different or how they prepared. um Everyone was still a pro at the end of the day. We had generally you have to drag guys to go to the gym. We had guys at the gym every single day,
That's awesome.
and almost every single player. We had guys lingering around the rink after practice, going to lunches that turned to dinners, right? That you
Wow.
just sit there all day.
Just keep, yeah.
I think, and honestly, I'm gonna put a huge onus on this one, and from seeing it now as an older player to a younger player, teams that have like a huge group of wags generally are closer. One, they're usually older and a little more mature. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying that doesn't mean you can't have the young guys that go have a good time, but it's more business oriented. And I think just having
Mhm.
that family atmosphere of, wives and girlfriends around living, with the guys that them doing a bunch of stuff on their own, it just makes it feel like more of a home, I guess,
More
instead
family
of like a
like.
temporary
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that and honestly, the atmosphere was electric. For me, it was the most electric atmosphere. And I'm not saying that like because I'm on an interview with Pee Dee IceCats, right? I'm saying that
Sure.
because it truthfully was. And
Yeah.
I was actually telling this to somebody the other day. I haven't played meaningful hockey, like playoff meaningful championship hockey, going for a trophy since probably I was like 19, 20 years old.
Wow.
So it'd been like 12-ish years. Like I went through all of college
Yeah.
not having all my first years of pro. We made this, but we got kicked out in the first or second round.
Hmm.
There was just something about last year that will forever be special, even though it
Yeah.
didn't work the way we all wanted it to. Um, but I've also been a huge believer of you don't understand how to win until you see what it takes.
Good.
And
Yeah.
kudos
That's so true.
kudos to Bingo, Binghamton. They've done it 3 times in a row. You have to tip your cap to a team that does it 3 times in a row, no
Absolutely.
matter how much you hate them. And if you don't, to this day, I still get nauseous thinking about watching the trophy lifted on the ice. And if you
Yeah.
don't, then you're in the wrong field of work. Um,
Yeah.
but I've always been a huge believer is
Solid.
you have to see what it takes to win first before you can win.
Yeah. And I know that's something that especially a lot of the guys who are coming back this season who are on that team, like
Mhm.
even though it's a new league,
Yep.
that chip is going to be on their shoulder. Like I
Absolutely.
know you guys are
Absolutely.
coming in with that drive already. And regardless of who's on the team, like I know there's a you guys are going to
There's
be
a there's an
instrumental.
expectation there's an expectation when you go to the finals. There's
100%.
an expectation,
Yeah.
right? And I think, you know, whoever comes back from last year's team, that kind of tone and character will be set from day one. And again, I
Definitely.
think the other captains did a phenomenal job last year, and hopefully we see him back. But I think that'll kind of be a message from day one in the locker room. If that's not your mentality, then that's a quick change of personnel.
100%. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's
so
good stuff.
I think the buy-in last year was incredible from whenever somebody came in. Obviously, everyone has different personalities, and you have to
Yeah.
handle everybody's personality differently. It was really established and understood what the mentality and expectation of our dressing room was.
Hmm.
And Coach Graham always said, "This is your guys' locker room, not mine." And like I said, being an older guy and somebody who wore a letter last year, it was very important that they understood the road we were on, and if it was our job to get them to follow that road. It wasn't if they weren't on the road to get them out. No, it was our job to get them on that road because
Yeah.
they were there for a reason.
Yeah. That's good
So.
stuff. Well,
Mhm.
I am very much excited to know that you are already listening to you. Like I'm getting pumped. We're already like almost 3 months, still 3 months
Yeah.
out. I'm already getting pumped just listening to you talk. Like there's a reason that you had that A on your shoulder last season, on your chest last season. So very,
Thank you.
very, very, very excited
Thank
that you are
you.
going to be back as part of
Something
the
it's
team
something
again.
I'm always a huge believer of. If you have to ask from the Fed and in the SP of my stints in the SP, I've worn a letter 5 of the 7 seasons of my pro career
Wow.
at both levels. So
Yeah.
it's something I'm super proud of. And like I said, if you have to ask for it, you don't deserve it. And
Yeah.
the way you be a leader is you do the same thing every day. You lead
Yeah.
by example, you lead by vocals. There's no change in what you do, and it's something as small as the details that you do in your outside hockey life,
Yeah.
right? Are you it's been and that's just or I could go into a whole whirlwind about that as well, but it's just something that a guy I idolized growing up was Brian Giante. He's from my hometown. He ended up he's undersized like me. He's like 5'7", played over
Mm.
1,200 games in the NHL and captained the
Wow.
Montreal Canadiens, captained Team USA at the Olympics a few years ago, and I just watched how this guy I just watched how this guy lived his day to day. I was fortunate enough as a young kid to work on the gym with him, with the pro
Really?
group that we had here, and be on the ice with him. And not only was my idol, he was my idol, but he was a good guy to me. And now, come full circle, I coach him and Sydney in our adult fitness group and his wife, and I work out with his
How
kids,
about
and I coach
that?
his kids who are going to go on and play Division 1 hockey, and one of them's young. So it's kind of wild that the guy I grew up idolizing as a 5-year-old, I'm going to get beers with on the weekends now, and I'm
Coming
coaching his
right
kids.
back.
So it's kind of cool,
That's
but it
so
shows a
cool.
testament to, right? It shows a testament to him as a person as well, and
Yeah.
there's nobody better to learn from. So I give, and there's a bunch more. His brother Steven Gianta also played in the NHL, and I used to train with him, and I coach his kids now in the gym that I work at and on the ice, and
Yeah.
um, it just shows that they were captains and leaders for a reason. If and
Yeah.
you should learn from them and follow them because there's a reason why.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%.
Mhm.
So you mentioned, and I kind of wanted to dive into this a little bit. So you mentioned you played not just in the Fed, but you've also played several games in the SPHL. In fact, and
Yep.
please correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say it's been over 35 games. So you've
So,
played at
something
that
like that.
level
Yeah.
quite a bit. What because I know, and a lot of us fans are, it's going to be a transition going from watching play from one league to another because there are differences.
Mhm.
Can you kind of help break that down for us and for the fans a little bit? What should we expect to see?
Yeah. So every year I've played pro, I've played in the SP pretty much as well. I
Yeah.
think a lot of the misunderstanding is that sometimes I don't think, and no fault of their own, they realize like I chose to play in the Fed, right? I could have played in the SP as well. Like last year was
Okay.
a
Yeah.
choice to come to Pee Dee, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of guys
Wow.
do that, and you can read whatever. I won't get into this, but you can read whatever you want on the internet about why guys choose the Fed over the SP.
Hmm.
That's not my business, but for
Sure.
me, when I first came in, it was definitely a big level jump. It was a jump. It was a huge jump in levels. It was
Okay.
clearly different. And I would have been, if anybody said that it was the same, I would have been the first guy to say absolutely, absolutely no, it's not.
Yeah.
Um, is it still a little bit of a jump? Yes, it is, right? But that's kudos to the Fed for you know making that jump as well. But I think now what I would like to have fans understand is a lot of what we played last year. If you look at the guys' resumes from Columbus, Athens,
Hmm.
Carolina, the teams, Monroe, the teams, Bingo, the teams we played consistently, almost every single one of those guys have played in the East Coast or the SP for numerous years. Right.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
of course it's going to be a jump, but I think for fans, like we're basically playing an SP caliber schedule last year.
Yeah.
Almost every guy on our team on Pee Dee last year had played up at that level, right? So I think, and I understand the, maybe the fear, but um, it's going to be a really good product. You're going to see, I would say the SP is a little more organized for sure. I think it's a little more detail oriented and more of a chess match where the
Mhm.
Fed can be a little bit run and gun sometimes. I know that can be fun having these, shootout games, but I think you're
Yeah.
going to see much more defensive based hockey. And that doesn't mean they're boring 2-1 games, right? Like that,
Yeah.
you watch an NHL game, a 2-1 game can be probably the most entertaining game. Um, but yeah, no, I think for that, is, a lot of guys chose to play in the Fed versus the SP last year, myself included.
Yeah.
Um, and like I said, I think the biggest thing is if you look at all the resumes of the teams we played consistently last year, pretty much every one of those was an SP caliber player. So take that for what
Yeah.
it's worth and interpret that how you want. But yeah, it's still going to be an incredible hockey.
Yeah. That's good to
So
know. Awesome.
yeah,
And it definitely it definitely showed because PD had a meat grinder of a schedule last year. Looking across the
crazy.
rest of the team, the rest of the league, I'm like, how in the
It,
world did an inaugural
Might
team?
have been the hardest schedule in all of minor league pro hockey. It was
Yeah.
insane.
I mean, you're
Insane.
playing Athens 25% of your games. You play Binghamton twice. You play
Mhm.
Columbus, I forget how many times.
Too
Um,
many. Too
yeah,
many.
too many. Like,
Too many
and
times.
and that's over half your schedule right there. So no,
Insane. Insane
yeah.
amount.
So and the fact
So
that you were able,
it's gonna be nice to see some different teams and faces this year.
although
So
Athens will
different
still be
arenas.
there, but yes,
So
definitely. So you mentioned a moment ago too about before you started pro, you also played college hockey.
yep.
So I know a lot of guys will go to juniors and they may end up going
Yep.
into pro, but you played college as well. So and during your time there, at least for part of your collegiate career, you played at SUNY Brockport,
Yep.
which is in the same conference that our new coach or IceCats new coach Chris Bernard. He used to coach
Yep.
in with SUNY Potsdam. Um, two-part question here. What was it like playing in that conference? Again, to kind of help fans understand
Mhm.
what that level of hockey is like. And did you interact much with Coach Bernard within that
So,
area?
so fun story. I was actually recruited. He might not remember this. He recruited me a little bit. It didn't end up working out. I didn't
Really?
when I was on the phone with him. I didn't mention this. I might just leave this one on the back burner and not ever bring it up.
Sure.
But no. So the SUNYAC conference, and remember, this is almost 10 years ago, right? A little over 10
Yeah.
years. So it's completely changed. But for hockey, different than any other sport, you have your Division One, which is your Division One.
Yeah.
There's no Division Two, there's Division Three, and then there's club hockey. At the time, you only got recruited to play Division One or Division Three. The SUNYAC, which is the State University of New York Athletic Conference, um, it was hands down the best Division Three conference in the country. Right. Obviously, it's changed a little bit now, but it was easily top to bottom the best. You would have, players who transferred from D1. I remember my freshman year, we played this guy on SUNY
Oh, wow.
Geneseo, ended up going to the American Hockey League after.
Wow.
Um,
Straight to the AHL. Wow. Okay.
and right to the AHL out of college.
Yeah.
And of course, your Division One players are better. They are, right?
Yeah.
Top to bottom,
Yeah.
they are.
Sure.
Um, Obviously, when you turn pro, I'm a big believer of anything. It's a different game. Pro is in the college, and
Hmm.
um, sure, you might be everything kind of evens back out, right? You're on the same playing field again. Because
Yeah.
I've seen mediocre Division Three players go much higher than standout Division One players, right? It's different. It's a different game.
Yeah.
So I played at SUNY Brockport for 2 years. It's about 40 minutes from where I live. I was just fortunate enough to get recruited to a hometown team. They had my major, which was exercise science and kinesiology,
Nice.
thus the strength and conditioning background. And
Absolutely. Yep. Makes sense.
um, I went there and I loved it. And my junior senior year, I transferred to King's College in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, also a D3 program. And the reason I did that was the assistant coach who recruited me to Brockport, took the head coaching job there, and you build a relationship with that coach who believed in you and
Yeah.
gave you a chance. So, me and my recruiting class followed him there, and I was lucky enough to do 2 great years there and go pro after that. But yeah, no, the SUNY conference, and again, this is all it's changed a little bit, but
Yeah.
um, it's still, I would say it's still a top three Division 3 conference, but um, in my opinion, your top teams, your top
Mhm.
Division 3 teams, and especially in that conference, your Oswego's, Plattsburgh's, Geneseo's could beat your low end Division 1 teams. Right? They're just that good.
Wow.
And
Okay. Yeah.
similar to players, choosing different leagues for different reasons. A
Mhm.
lot of these guys could have gone the Division 1 route, but for whatever reason, they chose the Division 3 route,
Yeah.
right? Especially in that
Okay.
conference, whether they didn't want to, have to grind as much as it takes to be and maybe have a little more fun. Maybe
Sure.
it was money stuff. Because some guys
Yeah.
don't, not everybody gets a full ride. Um, so
Mhm.
I think that's part of it. But for the fans, I think most players in the Fed, SP, and even East Coast League now are all Division 3 players, and it's getting so good that you're even starting to see some Division 1 players, you know, come into these leagues. So like
Wow.
I remember, for example, and fans will know this. I played against Carter Shinkarik in college,
Really?
right?
Yeah. Okay.
And that's a stud. That's a stud player,
Oh, absolutely.
right? So that's the type of level that Division 3 is pumping out,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So.
And
Um,
that's and I can just imagine. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, there were a couple others last year. Um, I can't remember off the top of my head that I played like big name players that fans would recognize that I played against in Division 3 that ended up
Yeah.
making huge jumps, into pro hockey and other leagues, right? So,
Right. And that's something that I think is good for. I mean, we'll see how. I am a fan, and I know there are a lot of
Mhm.
other conversations within the team, and then obviously the ownership level. But I can absolutely see a strategic signing, especially with Coach Bernard coming in with
Sure,
those connections
sure,
within Division 3 hockey. Because if there is that level of talent,
yep,
and even a lot of D1 guys, like you just mentioned, who are playing D3, like imagine the recruiting channels that are open within that,
yep.
playing in such a high profile conference in
And
D3.
and I think too, it's people forget sometimes that we go to school after junior hockey. We go to school at 21, so we're older. We don't come into pro hockey
Yeah.
at young ages all the time, right? A lot of these college guys, like for myself included, I came in at 25, so I was a little
Yeah.
older. But that's just the way it is. Obviously, your stud athletes will go at 18, right? But those
Yeah.
guys are playing in the NHL, American League, right? It's a little different.
Sure. Sure.
Um, but I would say too, I think it's important to remember that it's easy on the outside to look at, I don't want to say superficial stats because all the stats do matter, but you don't just recruit the best players all the time. You recruit for
Mhm.
positions, the best player at that position,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
you see it even in the NHL to AHL. There could be a guy get hurt and there could be a guy in the American League that has over 100 points and he doesn't get called up and you might wonder, well, why not? Well, a
Mhm.
third line, fourth line penalty killing centerman got hurt. We're not going to bring up a top scorer. We're going to bring up the next best guy at that position,
Right.
right? So I
Yeah.
think in college does a really good job of players have to find identities in school to be in
Mm,
the lineup and to get
that's
recruited
good. Right.
because you have a bigger roster in college. You have like a 30, 35, I think, now
Mhm.
man roster. And granted, you can dress eight, I think it's 8, 12, 4. You can dress 18 in college.
Yeah.
Um, Also, that's one new thing this year, unless it's changed. In the SP, you can dress 11 and 6
Okay.
instead of 10 and 6. So you can
Ah,
dress one
okay. So you
extra
got an
player,
extra. Right.
right? Or you can go 10 and 7,
Yeah.
forward and D. But I think that's one thing in college helps players find their identity. And
Mhm.
again, here's another great example. I had a kid I trained with, played against him in college. He went to SUNY Geneseo. Coach would definitely know who this kid was. He put up 35 goals in like 25 games in Division 3 hockey. Really good
Holy
player.
cow.
Ended up, getting signing with Pensacola, who's in the SP, got a
Okay.
tryout in the East Coast, had to change his role to, more of a fighter and a checker.
Hmm.
And now he's entering his 8th season in the American League. And he had to change his role from a 35
Wow.
goal scorer to a checker and a fighter and whatever it took. So
And that's a
that
shift.
All right, it's a big shift, but again, that's the talent that's in some of these leagues still. Like, and I won't
Yeah.
sit here and say Division 3 is better than Division 1. It is not. It will never be.
Sure.
Right. But at the
Yeah,
same
sure, sure.
time, there's some really good talent in that level,
Yeah.
especially that conference. And right, I'll say the same thing. At the end of the day, yeah, the SP is a little bit better than the Fed. Coast is a little bit better than the SP, and so on and
Mhm.
so forth. But there's some really good players at each level that probably could make the jump or choose just not to for whatever reason.
Yeah. And there are a lot of
So,
reasons that go into
right,
that.
there's right. People think money's a big one, and as a player, yeah, it's your livelihood. It definitely is, but there's
Sure.
many, many, many other reasons, right? So
Yeah.
like I'll open up to why I chose PD last year was I've never played in the South. I've never played in a big arena, and I've never been in a big market like that. So
Yeah.
for me, I wanted some stability to where it's tough, especially we talk about Sid living with me, right? She makes huge sacrifices, right? Your
Yeah.
families make huge sacrifices, and it's tough when you're moving from team to team on a call up, call down basis or
Mhm.
whatever that might be, right?
Yeah.
And we wanted some stability last year in our lives, especially with me being, a little older now. So we just wanted some stability. So there's a variety and medley of reasons of why, you know, players and organizations might do certain things with certain players, right? But
Sure.
again, as callous as that might sound, that's for the
It's
player and the
business. Yeah.
organization to know. And um, sometimes those conversations, unfortunately, are privy to public knowledge.
Yeah. Right. So you shared a little bit about, why you chose to play in each of the leagues as and why
Mhm.
Florence was so special for you guys to come back this past year. Um,
Yep.
as you look forward to the upcoming season, 2026, 2027, well, yeah, what are you looking forward to as we head into this upcoming year?
Like we talked about, like it was such a special year last year, and I'd be lying if you said you didn't want to recreate it or surpass it, right? And that's I don't want to say it's unrealistic that we won't, but it's unrealistic that it won't be the same,
Yeah,
right? And I don't want
sure.
myself or people to chase last year. Last year was great, savor
That's
it,
good.
enjoy it, right? But be open and accepting to change.
Mhm.
And inevitably, I think people forget we went on like a 9-10 game skid last year and everyone was hammering the
Yep.
panic button,
Yeah,
right? That may happen again. New league, new players, new team, new coach, right? That
sure.
may happen. But it,
Yeah,
it all turned out fine, right? It's depending on, you know, when team their stride and we hit it at the right time. So I think for me it's I'm looking forward. Like I said to you guys, like I love the area, right? It's
yeah,
different from where I live in New York. I live in Western New York, and it's different for me to be in the South and have the Southern hospitality and be around like Charleston or Wilmington and all these crazy towns and cities and
yeah,
places I'd never imagined. Like I was talking to Bedsy one day and we were driving on some road to Sarah's Grill and I said, Charlie, like think about it, man. Like we're so blessed and lucky to do what we do. When would I ever be on this road in America if it wasn't for
yeah,
playing here and having this meet and greet at Sarah's Grill? And so
yeah.
for me, I'm excited to make my own memories, have Sid and I make memories together and, see what we can do. Who is to say we can't do what we did last year and maybe then some in the SP, right?
Absolutely.
I think the sky's the limit and, the town, the I can't stress how important ownership, right? Mike and the Kevins they give us literally everything you could ask for as a player. Um,
Yeah,
right. I'm just excited to be back next year and surpass all the amazing things that, we brought to Florence in the 25-26 season.
yeah. Awesome. Love it. Love it. So I know we've been chatting for a while here. I did have one couple final questions. One, to kind of wrap things
Yep.
up. One that I've been kind of curious about. Why
Sure.
did you choose number 19? Why that number specifically?
So, so they didn't offer the number I really wanted, and that's
Okay.
okay. They didn't
Fair enough.
offer high numbers. I'm a high number guy. So I grew up, yep, there's the first one. That's why. So my first ever number was 16. Player I loved, Pat LaFontaine, played for the Buffalo Sabres, was number 16.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but as I got a little older, this is like when I was very little, like 5, 6. When I got a little older, my favorite player to this day, my number, he played for the Buffalo Sabres. His name was Maxim Afinogenov. He was a Russian. I actually told my little kids I coach at the higher camp today the same story, and he was number 61. And like kids of the PD region, you like a player, right? And you fall in love with this player. And this was a guy that for whatever reason I loved how he played. I loved everything about him. I tried to wear my gear like him. I tried to play like him. I would play like little mini sticks in my house, or go out to open hockey and like recreate goals that I watched him score, even if I was the only
Right.
person on the ice or in my house. Um, so to me, 61 will forever be my favorite number. It's my Instagram handle, right? Gullo
Yeah.
61 is
I noticed.
everything I do,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Makes sense.
so then fun fact, my first ever number in pro was 94 because 61 was taken. I'm a 1994 birth year. So that was kind of an easy one. So then I kind of was like,
Yep.
hey, you know what? 61 was my adolescent number. When I
Mhm.
turned pros, like let's make 94 my number. So I did that for a few years, and then I finally got the option to go back to 61. And it was the year that I was actually named team captain of a team. So I
Hmm.
was like, this is great. I had like my best offensive season ever. I was team captain. This is with the Elmira Mammoth. I'm like, maybe 61 is my
Yeah.
number.
Okay.
Um, and I don't remember why I went back, but I ended up going back to, oh, again, I went to another team, went to Motor City. 61 was gone. So I went back to
Hmm.
94 and I had another really good year. So now let's fast forward this year. 61 and 94 weren't options. Lordo already had 16, and there's a big
Yep.
thing like, and he would chirp me about this, but I'll chirp him. If you're older, like and you have more games, more seniority, you can take the guy's number, and he'll
Ah,
fight me to this
right,
day
right.
about it. But I'm also a big believer of Trevor's not a rookie. Trevor was a
Mhm.
an established player,
Yep.
right? Even if he was a rookie, you don't really do that, right? To me, I don't think that's right to do. At the end of the day, it's a number. Um, so then the easy one was okay, let's flip all the numbers around. 1 6, 9 4, 6 1, 1 9, and my birthday is January 19th. So
Perfect.
that was
There
kind of
you
an
go.
easy one right there. So that's why 19. So
Love it.
I don't know what they're doing with numbers this year. I haven't been told yet. Um,
Okay.
but people ask me, they're like, would you go to 94 or 61 if you had the choice? I said, probably not. Like for me, 19 is my PD number.
Yeah.
That's you took it to the finals, and I'm known as number 19, and we're gonna ride with it. So can expect me to be a number 19 again this year.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I kind of, now that makes me wonder about the other guys. I'm sure there, because there's stories behind everybody's numbers or a lot
some
of
are
numbers to
probably
an
deeper
extent.
than mine. Some are like, oh, this was the number I was
That's
given when I
good.
was 5 years old, and I kept it.
Yeah.
So
Love it. Good stuff. All right. So kind of bringing things home. Last thing. First off, thank you so much for taking the time to
yeah,
with
no
me tonight.
worries.
But
Appreciate it. This has been fun.
awesome. Do you have any messages that you'd like to share with IceCat fans as we wrap things up?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, let's ride, let's compete. Um,
Love it.
I
Let's
think
do
it's
it.
gonna be, I think it's gonna be exciting for us to come back and um, I think take the new season as it
Mhm.
comes, even if we bust out of the gates and win 10 games in a row, or we lose 10 games, whatever it might be, right? It's a long season.
That's
And
right.
then from my other thing, I think as these things goes on, you'll unfortunately not we're not going to have all the same players back next year, and you might scratch your head why the team wouldn't bring certain people back or bring people back, and there's many 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 reasons. And I would say also realize that a team isn't built around one type of player. It takes all types of players to make a winning championship team. And I'll
That's
leave you
good.
with this: the most successful line of the Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricanes was their third and fourth line. So leave it for that.
That's right. Awesome. Yeah. Good,
So
good stuff. Good stuff.
but
Well, Nick, thank you so much for hopping on here, and just answering some questions and
yeah,
yeah, getting us excited for the season. I'm telling you, I can't wait for it to get back, and this has made me that much more excited.
you're welcome, and thank you, and thank you to you, thank you to the whole city of Florence for welcoming me back and Sydney back, and let's go get a championship. It's unfinished business from last year, so I would say that's what I'm most looking forward to.
Good stuff.